This video is brought to you by Incogni. You guys are gonna love this story, and I think it takes the cake for Trump supporter stories over the past month. You know, I've made a few videos about Trump supporters who are very outspoken online about their support for the president, and then they'll make a post that says something like, "Hey, at Donald Trump, I've been working here for 12 years. Why did I randomly get a message saying that I'm fired? I thought you were only targeting the woke, leftist Marxists." You know, we've covered a lot of those stories. But this may be the best one that we've seen so far because it ends with the Trump voter getting called out by his mom on his own Facebook page. It's beautiful, and we have no time to waste. All that I ask is that you drop a like. Make sure you're subscribed to the Mockler channel. You know, I keep getting comments like this. "Hey, Adam, I thought I was subscribed, but it turns out I wasn't this whole time. Good luck on 1 million. And let's start here. Let me introduce you to Rodney Grundmeyer. And all of this is publicly available data, so it's not any breach of privacy. He posted on Facebook on November 4th of 2024, quote, "Let's take out the trash together and vote Trump for 2024. And it's that photo of Trump in the garbage truck after Biden called Trump supporters garbage, which, I mean, this dude posts this on November 4th, and it looks like the trash was taken out because one day ago, Rodney Grundmeyer posted, "Thanks to Elon Musk, I am now out of work. I've had a tough time finding a job these past few years. I worked for a company for almost 6 years and was let go when they decided to reorganize their company after another company bought them out. I was unemployed between January of 2023 and June of 2023 until I was hired on with another company. I then worked with that company from June 2023 till September 2024. Unfortunately, that company was also bought out and I was let go due to reorganization once again. My wife and I had just bought a house in July of 2023 when I lost my job in September. I was forced to file for a forbearance with the mortgage company." He says, "Note, I know this may be too much TMI, but I just wanted to point out how tough things have been for us." And listen, the point of this video is not to laugh in this person's face, "Ha ha ha, you're going through hardships." No. It sucks when anybody goes through hardships. We've all been there, but you have to face the consequences of what you voted for. That's the main takeaway of this video. If you roll the die and you vote for a clearly narcissistic, delusional orange freak, and you roll the die and you place that vote, you're going to have to face the consequences. He then says, "I was offered a job with the IRS in October of 2024. Wait, so this dude was working for the IRS, and he had trouble keeping a job, and he finally found a steady job, and he still voted for Trump, who promised to nuke the IRS, essentially. That is until Elon Musk and his Doge gang decided to enact this reduction in force for the federal government agencies. Today, we had a meeting with our director at the IRS who informed our class of new employees that we were being let go due to the reduction in force initiative from the White House. This has caused a major strain on our current living expenses, not to mention the number of unemployed federal workers, 70,000, is going to make things harder for me to find another job due to all the competition of people trying to find a new job." And again, this reduction in federal workforce, before I continue, is causing such a slim amount of savings. We'll get to that. He then says, "I am not looking for any handouts, but I am asking in return for prayers for me and the other unemployed federal workers who all have families that we are trying to support. We are all more than just government employees. We are husbands, wives, sisters, daughters, sons, brothers, and grandparents. We have bills to pay, taxes to pay, and families to raise." I mean, it's really easy to humanize yourself when you are being affected. But remember, just a few months back, this same person was saying, "Let's take out the trash together and vote Trump." But then, Gail Grundmeyer, read the name right here. It says Gail Grundmeyer, the mother of Rodney Grundmeyer, our Trump supporter of the day, responded via Facebook and said, "I have an idea. Maybe your Republican family and friends who voted for the orange buffoon and President Musk can help you pay your house note, utilities, car note, car insurance, health insurance, food, and any other bills you have." Remember, the orange buffoon brought Musk, very young people with no security clearance, to go through classified documents and a circle of idiots to do exactly what is being done. Some of our loved ones, which includes family and friends, now have a target on their backs. Is any of this right? No. Right this moment, I am worried about you. I'm sure your leg is going 10 miles an hour, and I wish I could give you a hug. I'm assuming that he has like a nervous tic where he shakes his leg or he bounces his leg when he's nervous, and his mom is referencing that. That's what I'm assuming there. Either way, Kind of a sweet message, of course, but also at the same time, talk about fuck around, find out. I would never want somebody to lose their job and go through hardships like that. Again, that is never something that I would want somebody to go through, but if you're going to vote for that, if you work for the IRS and you vote for the guy who is just itching to nuke the IRS, it's like, what do you expect, dude? It kind of reminds me of this one from last week. It says, at Donald Trump. Someone tagged Donald Trump and said, hello, sir. I am one of the probationary employees terminated by Doge at 9 p.m. on February 14th. I voted for you, sir, 3 times, and I still support you. I was encouraged by the Doge to see that they were getting rid of wasteful government spending. I support that too. My termination letter said I was being let go for performance reasons. I know that's not true. I am an excellent employee. I had been with the federal government for 16 years. 16 years in June. I had started my career with USDA and then transferred to DHS and recently came back to USDA. That's probably why he's still a probationary employee. Surely that must count for something in your eyes. Oh, you sweet summer child. That doesn't count for anything. He then says, my boss, his boss, my managers say I'm doing an excellent job. I'm counting on you to make this right. Please, Mr. President, thank you. Spoiler alert, Donald Trump does not care. There's also this post from the conservative subreddit, the r/conservative subreddit, which features a bunch of Republicans just chatting. It's a chat board for Republicans. Someone said, why are we firing Forest Service / National Park Service workers? And it's another example of people not really caring about anything until it affects them personally, which I guess is part of human nature, but it's especially prevalent in Republicans. I had friends in high school who were pro-life or anti-choice their whole entire life until they were 19 and had a pregnancy scare in college with their girlfriend. All of a sudden, they are pro-choice, very pro-choice. And it's like people will flip right when an issue affects them. But I guess it's human nature. I guess it's human nature to only care about things that affect you the most, like the economy, before you care about things that are farther away. But this says, let me start by saying I'm a Trump supporter. I voted for him and agree with the vast majority of what his admin has done. So don't mistake this for some kind of rhino drivel. However, why the fuck are we firing National Park / Forest Service workers? In the fiscal year of 2025, the National Park Service's budget was approximately $3 billion, while the U.S. Forest Service's budget was $7.4 billion. Combined, that's $10.5 billion in federal spending. To put that into perspective, the Department of Defense's budget in the same year was $695.9 billion. That means that the combined budgets of NPS and USFS constitute 1.5% of the Defense Department's budget. Given the invaluable services that these agencies provide, like maintaining our national parks, preserving national habitats, offering recreational opportunities, their cost to taxpayers is minimal. And this is what we've been saying the entire time. Are there flaws with U.S. aid? I'm sure there are flaws with U.S. aid without even looking. Are there flaws with the National Park Service? Sure, but you don't have to fire people en masse and cut the funding and justify it by saying you're making the government more efficient when you're cutting less than 1% of the entire budget. Right here, you can look. The Department of Defense's budget is $695 billion, as he said. That means the National Park Service and the Forest Service budget is 1.5%. What good are you doing by cutting something that is fundamental to the mental health of Americans? You preserve natural habitats, it's good for our climate, you maintain our natural parks, and you offer recreational opportunities that help make Americans healthier, more productive. You can imagine we'll have a more productive workforce if people have national parks to go chill at, All of my hobbies revolve around the outdoors, this conservative says. Hunting, fishing, hiking, camping, you name it. So when I see reports popping up about Forest Service workers being laid off, it hits close to home. These are people who manage and protect the very places that make these activities possible. Laying them off is flat out idiotic. Yeah, it's almost like you elected an idiot president and Elon Musk is doing this breakneck, idiotic slash and burn cutting of our federal workforce without actually thinking of the consequences. Time and time again, we've seen that Elon Musk is not thinking about the consequences, and people who thought they were just going to see the trash taken out. Remember, Rodney Grundmeyer said on election day, or I guess this was the day before election, let's take out the trash together and vote for Trump in 2024. Well, yeah, now the trash being taken out are just normal Americans who have spent decades and decades serving our federal government, who are now laid off and had their lines and had their lives thrown in turmoil. You know, I know that it's kind of funny to read these stories, but I mean, these are actual American voters. These are people who are struggling. And I'm sure people in the audience are struggling with this too. But as funny as it is to see Trump supporters go through it and have the consequences of their actions thrown back in their face, I mean, these people have kids and houses that they can't pay for anymore. And it's all sad. And it's crazy how Trump genuinely just doesn't give a shit. And really quickly, have you ever Googled yourself and found way too much personal info floating around? Or have you ever gotten spam calls and texts that know exactly what you've been into lately? Well, that's because the internet has a file on you. Even if you've never signed off on it, your name, your address, your shopping habits are all floating around there online. And that's where Incogni comes in. They go after these data brokers on your behalf, requesting the removal of your personal information automatically so you don't have to spend hours doing it manually. See, I've been getting signed up for all of these random Republican MAGA newsletters, and you guys know me. I do not read these things, so that tells me that some online website I put my email in is now weaponizing that against me. And the cool thing is, Incogni found that data broker, demanded that my email be removed, and now those emails are gone. Again, Incogni got the data removed, and I didn't even have to worry about it. Another fun one. I one time was researching a specific medical condition, then I began to get emails about that medical condition. Incogni helped remove the data from that broker. So if you want to take your data off the market, go to incogni.com/Mockler and use code Mockler, Mockler, to get 60% off your annual plan. Again, incogni.com/Mockler, use code Mockler. It is a huge discount and you can start protecting yourself today. Thank you to Incogni for making this video possible, and thank you to you guys.